The grand chandelier above the study cast a warm light across the marble floor, but it did little to soothe the coldness wrapping around your frail body. You sat at the index, eyes half lit, your heart pounding, your hand trembling as you tried to organize the last few documents his assistant had shown into your lap. You shouldn't have gotten up. The fever had started last night, burning through your skin like a fire, and now it's capped your entire body like ice. But you knew Taeyong hated things out of pace. The moment the door slammed open, your heart stalled. His trailer black suit, the glint of gun horror on the sharp tension in his jaw, everything about him is screaming danger, and still you had-on slugged him quietly, softly, the way fluent craves oxygen. Where the hell is the shipment's invoice? He barked, his voice scans through the air. You blinked slowly, tried to recall which paper it was. Your head was spinning. I think I put it under. Think his tone sharpened. You had one job, one. Are you even listening anymore or just pretending to be a part of this family? His voice hit harder. Then the fever pulsed through your veins. Your lips parted, but no words came out. You were too tired, too dizzy, too defeated. So you did the one thing that stunned him more than any response. You stayed silent. There was narrow, but your downcast gaze made him hesitate. He exhaled sharply and ran a hand through his hair, muttering a curse under his breath. I don't have time for this, he spat. Before storming out, you sat motionless, the room spun, your finger twist on the edge of the desk as tears escaped your eyes, not for the shouting, but from the way he never saw. He didn't see the way your body swung. He didn't see how pale your lips had turned. He never asked why your voice has faded. And that night, while your empire he built continued to rule the underground, his wife colored up the velvet couch in the study alone, shivering and shallow in silence. The moonlight poured through the tall glass window, painting pale silver on the polished floor of the mansion. You colored into yourself on the couch in the study, the blank trap over you too thin to stop the chill that worked your body. Every breath felt like a battle, every couch in the empty room, but you didn't dare to return the master bedroom, not for the way Taeyong looked at you earlier, like a burden, like a mistake. You stared at the ceiling, your eyes settling, your body weak and burned out. You didn't want him to see you like this, fragile, sick, defeated. Somewhere in the distance, you heard the car shifting outside, the faint nose through metal door locked off the night, the mansion settling into a usual state. Except for you, at the dawn, the fever pricked. You tried to stand, maybe to get water, maybe to reach the door, but the wall tilted sideways. The glass of water slipped from your hand and shattered, and then you collapsed to the floor. Your body limp, breath dragged, a scream piercing the silence in. It was new. Madam, one of the maids cried, rushing into the study. Panic spread like a wildfire through the mansion. Moment later, heavy footsteps turned down the hall. Door flung open. The man shouted instructing in the center of it all. His breath hissed when he saw you unconscious. Your lips cracked, forehead burning, blood dripping from a cut off on your hand. When he whispered, eyes wide with a disbelief and something deeper, regret, horror, he dropped to his knees beside you, And for the first time in a year, the Mafia-King voice shook. Call the doctor now. Tim sat outside the emergency room, fist clenched, his knuckle white and stained with your the antiseptic claw at his throat. It was a smell he hated, suffocating out of control. He had faces acidism, rile, Sagni Craig's betrayal that nearly ended him, but something prepared him for the sight of you, and on the floor, fragile and burning, lips cracked from the dehydrated, cheek followed by exhaust. He remembered the last time he said to you, the way you didn't fight back, the silence. He mistaken it for defense, but it was something else entirely. Mr. Kim, the doctor approached, voice green. Your wife has suffered pneumonia. She became fighting a high-grade fever for a year without a rest or proper treatment. If she had a faint, even a few hours later, Tim looked up, his voice strained whisper. She could die. Doctor didn't answer. He didn't need to. Tim leaned forward, elbow on his knees, hand in the air. The weight of on his chest crushed him. His thought back how many times he tried to tell him something over past week. The soft thing, can we talk? The distant looked in your eyes, your trembling hand, the day you dropped the spoon and he just walked past you, the way you peered into yourself more, the night he placed in the room in hand, always too busy, he missed it all, and now for the first time his cold, calculated life, he was dead. And then later he was at your bed beside the machine, beeped softly, your breath slow, uneven, the oxygen marks cover your face. He sank into a chair beside you and reached your hand. I didn't see you, he mumbled, his thumb brushing your wrist gently. I saw the file, the mess, the mistaken, but not you. Your hand lay limp in his. I shouted when I shouldn't have held you. I left when you were breaking. His voice cracked. You stopped speaking and I thought you were being distant, but you were drawing silence hang between you, louder than any, heavier than any word. And still you didn't wake, but he didn't leave your side again, not that night, not ever. The sun crept through the hospital blinds, catching soft glow across your sleeping form. Taeyong hadn't moved from the chair all night. Dark circle clung into his eyes. His suit, just jacket draped over your feet like a second blanket. His hand never left you. He hasn't used to stillness. The underworld meeting, no gunfire. Just your pale face and a quiet remember that power meant nothing. When the one you loved slipped through your finger, when the nurse entered, he teased immediately, sliding your body like a guard dog. She need rest, the nurse said gently, but Mr. Kim, you should rest too. He didn't answer. Instead, his eyes remained fixed on you, guilt a glowing shadow in his chest. She asked for you, the nurse added. Last night before she passed out, she said, don't let them to be angry, I tried. The word hit like a bullet. His throat tightened. Why didn't she tell me she was sick? He muttered more to himself than that. She did, sir, the nurse said softly. You just didn't hear her. After she left, Tim stood slowly and aching. Walked to the window. He stared at the world below the ruled while you fight for your life. Then he turned back to you, your brow twist in sleep. A small gone escaped your lips. Whine, he whispered quickly, moving to your side. I am here. I am not leaving. Never again. Your fingers shifted weakly, response to his. He leaned down, brushing a trembling hand over your forehead. I never learned how to care, he whispered brutally, but I will learn now for you. And it's the dead quiet hospital room. The Mafia king finally knelt in defense, but in surrender, not to his enemy, but for love. Your eyelids flush open slowly. The building white ceiling is telling you exactly where you still alive, still aching. A dull pain settled in your chest, but it wasn't just from the pneumonia, it was from him. You turn your head, your throat dry, expecting emptiness. But instead you saw him, things slumped forward on the chair beside you, head resting on your hospital bed, his hand wrapped tightly around yours as if even in sleep he was afraid you vanished. Your breath catch. How long had he been here? You remember the last thing, the cold floor, the fever gaze, the inch of his angry voice, and now this. As if sensing your movement, his eyes shot open for the first time. They wasn't sharp or cold. They were full of regret. You were awake, he breathed. You blinked slowly, bravely. He sat up, brushing his finger through his turtle hair, then hesitated before reaching for your hand. His knuckle brushed your cheek so gently it made your heart stung more than you loved. You should have told me, he whispered. I tried. Your voice cracked. You didn't listen. Silence. He didn't deny it. He couldn't. I was too focused on everything else. I forget the one thing that mattered most. You turn your face away. Why are you still here now? His jaws clenched. Because I should haven't never left. The tear welled in your eyes, tired eyes, but your force. A bitter smile. It took me collapse for you to care. No, he said softly. It took you neatly time for me to realize I already did. Your heart stopped for a second. Before you could reply, he added, I don't expect forgiveness, but I am not leaving your side again. Even if it's take a lifetime to make up for the silence between us, I will. And this time, when he kissed the back of your hand, it wasn't a gesture of ownership. It was an apology and a promise.